it's Andy with the Rag Company, and welcome to Wash Wednesday. In today's video, we have Junior, and Junior, what kind of truck do we have?
Today we have my grandpa's 1949 F1 pickup.
Alright guys, so this should be a very interesting truck to wash because not only is it extremely old and renewed, but it's got a lot of interesting quirks about it. So we have Junior here and we also have Lane, and both of them work at Kenny's Rod Shop. Now you guys customize pretty much everything, right?
Yes,
when it comes to cars, classics, trucks, you name it, you guys do a little bit of everything. So Lane, you are the media person over there, correct?
I am.
So you knew quite a bit about everything that went to this truck, and you document everything via social media.
Yep, this is one of the first trucks that we got in when I was hired that was from the ground up that we were building. We got it in just a year ago, and this wasn't supposed to go this far. This was supposed to be a patina shop truck and just a nice little cruiser that we could use and abuse, and it turned into this. But we are so happy with it. It turned out awesome, and it's built for Kenny's grandpa.
Nice. Story of every car person and truck person's life, right? It starts as something that turns into something else. Right? I think we all can relate to that.
It never ends.
So, Junior, you specialize in a lot of the electronics, right? A lot of the electrics and everything that comes to, well, I don't know how many electronics are within this truck, but that's typically what you specialize in. What else do you do over there?
I do a little bit of everything. I've been dabbling with more fab work.
Okay.
And just learning everything. I mean, I just try and, learn as much as I can so I can help out wherever.
Yeah. Dude, absolutely. Well, this thing looks freaking killer. So it is a, what do you call it, a matte or satin black?
I think it is a satin.
It's a little bit,
Labeled as a satin.
a little bit more of a satin. And
Yeah.
so this is actual paint. This is not a wrap, right? This is, you don't wrap cars like this or trucks like this. This isn't something that happens. So we'll actually be knocking out this paint today. So we're gonna be using O&R on this satin finish. And so getting that all cleaned up. We're really not gonna be applying any type of protection product necessarily because this is pretty new paint. I don't think it absolutely needs it. So and it's also not extremely dirty. It's basically shop dust is what we're working with.
It's pretty much shop dust and a little bit of road wear, but that's it. I mean, it's all pretty fresh.
Right on. Well, we'll find out more about the truck as we start washing, as we start going along. So what we're gonna be doing today, again, rinseless wash. We're gonna be starting with the wheels and tires first because those are the dirtiest things on the truck. And then from there, rinseless, O&R, towels, clean. Let's do it. All right, Junior, so we're gonna be starting with the wheels first. So typically on our Wash Wednesdays, we'll mix it up from time to time, just trying to change it up to keep people interested, but people are always like, why didn't you do the wheels first so you don't get overspray when you have a clean car, yada, yada, yada. So we're gonna address that by knocking out the wheels first today.
Perfect.
So these tires, those are pretty dirty, man.
Yeah,
Those are dirty indeed. And so new wheels though, right?
Yes.
So I mean, everything's relatively new. It's just there is definitely a fine layer of film on those tires, and so we want to be able to remove that. So the process for today is gonna be pretty simple. We're gonna be taking some O&R and an IK multi-sprayer. This is just a pump trigger sprayer. So this is something that you could necessarily do in your garage if you wanted to, right? And that's the same process we're gonna do for the rest of the exterior as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pump up our O&R, and since the wheel itself is clean, I'm not going to spray wheel cleaner onto the wheel itself. I'm actually just going to be spraying it onto the tire. I'm just spraying it with this solution, and O&R is a rinseless wash solution, meaning that basically you could spray it on, wipe it off, and you don't have to rinse it. It's rinseless. So at this point, we could just clean it, dry it, call it good. But since we want to clean the tires and really scrub those down, so we're gonna be using the IK TR sprayer with brake buster in it, right? Brake buster. It's a wheel and tire cleaner, but we're gonna be focusing just on the tires because like I said, the wheels are in pretty good shape. So taking this, we're gonna start applying this pretty liberally. I have it in here at 1:1 dilution. And then from there, we're taking my favorite, it's probably one of my favorite brushes that we sell. This is our tire scrubbing brush, right? It's got this nice rubber stopper on it, so if you hit any type of paintwork, if you hit the metal, it's not gonna damage anything, but you can already see the brake buster working, right? Starting to kind of melt that away. And then what we're gonna do, take our brush, spray our brake buster into the brush. I call this loading it because what happens is it starts to build up a froth within the brush, and right when I start agitating it, look at that.
Wow.
Can you say that these tires were dirty?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
Wow. That's wild.
See how I'm going up to the wheel, but I'm not necessarily hitting the wheel, right?
Yep.
And if I hit that, that's the rubber stopper.
That's awesome. Does happen from time to time.
It does happen from time to time. That is true. Cool. So now that we've scrubbed that, what I'll typically do is I'll rinse out my brush before throwing it back inside the bucket. Some people ask, is O&R enough to rinse brake buster? Yes, it absolutely is. I've been doing this for close to 2 years. I've never had an issue. So that's going back inside there. Now, while that's still soaking, I'm gonna let the product kind of sit on the tire.
Okay.
I'm going to take my edgeless 365 minor towel, and we're just begin cleaning the wheels, because the O&R is plenty enough to clean these, as these are just lightly dusty. So taking this, do a quick ring around here. These are super cool wheels. Are these new?
Yes.
Like brand new?
Yes. Yeah.
Dang, man.
Brand new wheels.
Then from here, all we're doing is rinsing it.
Perfect. And let's say the wheel was a little more dirty than it was.
Yeah.
Would you need to do a little bit more of aggressive, you know, but depending on kind of what the grime is on there, or is it just, you know, is it all pretty light
Yeah.
as far as that goes?
So on this kind of wheel, I probably wouldn't take a brush to it. There's no reason to. I don't think it would ever get that dirty. I think especially with how well you guys are gonna maintain this truck, you can get away with just using a towel. And so if the wheel itself was dirty, I would have just sprayed brake buster onto the wheel itself, then taking that same towel and then wipe that in, right, and clean that up using the towel. Like I said, this just isn't a brush worthy. I think they're too nice to brush, so I don't think it's needed. But ultimately, O&R has cleaning ability, and so most of the time you should just be able to get away with this process right here. And at this point, all we would do is just dry it off.
Excellent.
Dry it off, dress the tires, and we'd be set. So
All right.
we have 3 other wheels to knock out, right? You ready to try it yourself?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, Junior, so we got the truck in the white room, so we're ready for our rinseless wash. Now, I'm just guessing, but you've never done a rinseless wash before.
Negative.
All right, well, it's the first time for everything. And so this is something that you could show your grandpa, right? You could show your dad, you could show pretty much everybody at the shop and say, hey, here's a safe way to keep these cars clean that isn't a quick detailer or isn't a full wash of soap and water, because let's face it, a lot of the stuff you guys are building is not basically soap and water. It's not needed, right? Basically, if you could do a rinseless wash or a quick detailer or water wash, that's more ideal. So this will hopefully be your new go-to from everything we learned today. So you already have experience with the IK multi-sprayer, right? So there's O&R inside here, and this is what we're doing our pre-spray with. So a pre-spray doesn't have to be anything crazy, doesn't have to be anything super heavy. We just want the chemical to land on the surface and begin doing some of the work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you an example. Let's do this rear fender right here, okay? So taking my IK sprayer, you can adjust your nozzle however you like it. I'm gonna go kind of more of a mist setting, and I'm going to mist on the product. Oh, look at that, it's beating something.
So you're just looking for a nice light coat of...
Nice light coat. I'm not going crazy. That's about as much as I would want on there.
Okay.
So setting that down here, we're gonna walk over to our bucket. I have 2 different colored mitts. You want to use what color?
I'll take the green one.
Okay. So taking this blue one, we're gonna wring it out to the point to where the mitt it's wet, right? But it's more damp than wet. Kind of feel that? And then what we're gonna do, I like to tuck the cuff. That's just my preferred method of doing it. You can also wear it as a mitt if you'd like, but I like to kind of hold it like that.
Okay.
So then coming over to our fender, we are going to take the mitt, wiping in straight lines, kind of rolling it as we're wiping.
Okay.
And you can see that we are picking up some stuff there. So we're gonna go through the whole truck like this, cleaning everything off, working from top to bottom, pulling all the dirt like that we can off. Now, once you get to the point where you feel like, okay, I've loaded the mid up full of enough dust or enough dirt, then it's time to rinse it, rinse everything out, re-ring it out, and keep going. So I'm gonna pre-spray this fender here. I'll have you knock out the rest of it from top to bottom, and you can knock out the whole entire thing. And I'm gonna start working on the front fender and the door over here.
Excellent.
So Junior, I think we can start talking about this thing now. So
Sure,
like Lane was mentioning before, when you guys first got this truck, this was not meant to be the outcome of this thing.
No, it was, for my grandpa, it was kind of just a budget, something fun, something to, you know, just kind of have and beat up and cruise around. It was originally going to be like a shop truck, kind of rough around the edges. You know, and my grandpa's not big into a lot of technology or anything, so it was just a basic, just something that runs, drives, you can cruise around, but something with the company logo on it that's kind of just fun, and you know, something you can beat up a little bit. And it's progressed a little bit more than that, but I mean, it's still a
little bit more than that. Yeah, something like that, right?
We'll still put it through the ringer, so.
Yeah, and so, I mean, realistically though, I mean, has pretty much everything been gone through on this truck? I mean, everything from the suspension to the paint work, was there rust that needed to be removed? Kind of talk about what goes into that process.
Sure. It was, when we got the cab and everything, it was actually in pretty good shape. And that, you know, to hop into the sort of the body and paint, what ended up happening there and why we ended up a little bit a notch above what we wanted was everything was in pretty good shape, and we were done. We patched a few things here or there, but kept it mostly just original and just, you know, as it was meant to be.
Yeah.
For Grandpa, and it was, it got to the body shop and he's like, man, this thing's too nice. Just let me throw black on it and let me, you know, we're gonna do this and do that. And it's like, well, all right, you know.
Yeah.
But so it was, it kind of evolves a little bit, but it's got new, you know, TCI suspension underneath it. But my grandpa, you know, he likes it. He's old school. He doesn't want all the crazy stuff.
Doesn't want all the crazy stuff.
Something that runs, drives, is reliable, and fun, you know. Nothing racy or anything like that as far as any high tune suspension or any crazy thing. Just a simple motor, just runs and drives.
So what does he think about it? Has he
you know,
seen
honestly,
it?
with the coronavirus stuff, he's been kind of keeping his distance because he's not in the best of health.
Kind of laying, okay.
But I know from the updates and whatnot, he came by and drove it, and he's super jacked. He's really excited.
That's awesome, man. So, so something unique about this thing, right? So it's a Ford, right? But what's underneath the hood?
It's a Chevy.
More or less knows
I was waiting for that question, but I
blasphemy. Sorry, Ford guys.
kind of whisper that it's a Chevy.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, Chad.
It is. Well, I feel like that's interesting. It makes it unique. That's what's kind of fun about it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's kind of sacrilegious there, but you know what? Hey, man, to each their own, right?
Yeah.
So, what's probably the coolest car you guys have ever built over there? What's something that you've been like, this is it. This is like the best thing we've ever done?
You know, that's a tough question because I probably make a lot of customers upset, depending on.
Well, but what is something that you personally like the most? How about that? We'll put it as that.
It was probably our biggest project as far as budget and what we've done with the car, but our Gold 37 that we took to Detroit in 2016.
Yeah.
Dan Wather out of Rio Linda, California. It was just a great customer. It was a fun experience. It was a 10-year project. So it wasn't one of these, you know, quick bang them out, those are fun too, but it was just a really fun experience because he was such a hands-on owner.
Yeah.
Just involved in the whole process, and it really just made it sort of a different, I mean, the car really is just the end product, but I think everything involved in between point A to point B was really what made that project what it was for us at the shop. So it was, that's, you know, but I mean, we've done so many cars that I've loved, and
I was gonna say that 37. I mean, that was a SEMA car, right?
Yeah.
I think it actually won some awards at SEMA.
Yeah, you guys are familiar with that car.
Yeah, we're familiar with it.
And
I think Tim's especially familiar with it.
And like I said, it wasn't a money thing or because of the awards or whatnot. It was just the experience with that car. The growth, it was a lot of fun. It was really fun, you know. There was really no business involved whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's what made it really unique.
All right, Junior, time to start drying this thing off. So like I mentioned before, we're using the 15x24 Gauntlet V2. This is a killer drying towel. This is more than enough to do the truck. This is a little bit overkill, but I wanted to share the love, get you in on this, you know, have you try out the towel for yourself as well. So there's two sides. whichever color you choose to go with, right? And then you're basically gonna fold the towel. I try to fold it basically to alleviate any pressure points from my hands, right? Because I don't want to be digging into the paint necessarily. Nice smooth surface. So we're just gonna go through and start drying everything off. And so flip the towel as needed. And working everything in.
Perfect. Okay, I'll start right back here.
And that's that. All right, so Lane, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have you on wheel duty here. So for the wheels, right, we're gonna go back over them with O&R one more time. Take our Creature Edgeless in black. We are going to just begin buffing and cleaning everything out. Then what you do is when you get it to a certain point where you're like, okay, that looks acceptably damp, right? We'll call it damp. Now we're gonna add our finishing touches. So we're gonna take bead maker, just on the wheel itself. And then I'm gonna take our FTW here, then dry the bead maker in. And that's going to pull a very, very glossy finish out of that chrome. So this is the most satisfying part. Right? Cool. Like a brand new wheel. Oh wait, it is brand new. So, all right guys, so the inside of this windshield is filthy. I couldn't stand it. I was wiping the outside, I'm like, oh my God, what is happening here? It looks like somebody has sneezed 100 times. So I'm using some G-Technic Perfect Glass with an FTW in here. I don't really want to get a ton of overspray on this, so I'm going to kind of spray at an angle and wipe that stuff up.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be able to see on our way back, Junior.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, we flew by sonar to get here.
Look at that, guys. Is that amazing or what?
Yeah, that's nice.
It's the power of a good glass cleaner. You know what? And Lane, you're already there. Perfect.
There you go.
All right.
Right place at the right time.
All right, guys. So with the truck dried, it's looking pretty damn good, man.
Sharp.
It's the nice thing about the satin finish is that it kind of always looks good, right? You can't really swirl this, so that's kind of the good part. So we need to finish off the wheels. We already bead makered them, or Lane bead makered them. So now it's time to dress the tires. So I'm using T2 by G-Technic. This dressing is awesome. You don't need a whole lot of it. A little goes a long way. So we're gonna be putting on our little red applicator sponge here. And then for this, it goes in very thin, right? So this is something that you can layer if you'd like to layer it. I typically like the look of one application. I think it gives kind of like a new kind of matte finish like it would from new. See what I mean by a little goes a long way?
Yeah,
that went around the entire tire. You don't need a whole lot of this stuff. And so you just want to keep doing rings around until basically you get it to where it's a nice universal look, right? So if you've missed any spots, you can kind of go back over it, but the sponge makes it really easy to apply. So taking a step back, that looks good.
That looks brand new.
That looks really, really good.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
You want to try on the rear?
Yeah, let's do it.
There you go. And we clean the tire pretty good because if you look at the applicator, see how it's not filthy, right? That's why we clean the tire, right?
Avoid all that.
Because we want to basically get rid of all of the old filth using brake buster so the dressing sticks for longer. All right, guys, and that is a wrap. So this 49 Ford F1 is looking killer. What do you guys think?
It's really slick.
I'm taking it all in because I don't know what it's going to look like this again.
It looks really good. And so you guys are actually on your way to a photo shoot right after this, right over at the studio across the street. So I think we'll be able to get some cool shots inside that big open white room in terms of the after shot, so you guys can really see just how good this thing looks. I mean, really, and that's a testament to you guys building this truck and you guys actually putting in such good work. The paint shop doing such a good job laying down this satin black, because this just, it looks aggressive, it looks mean, but it looks very well done, right? I think this is what everybody would define as a clean restoration or a clean restoration job of a car like this or of a truck like this. So what was your favorite part of the wash, both of you guys? What did you guys learn? What product did you guys like? What process, you know?
I was more or less just impressed with the products we're using, how many steps we're able to skip.
Yes, lots. Yes, we just basically went from top to bottom and we said, yeah, we don't need to do any of that middle stuff yet because it doesn't need it, right? And so, what about you, Junior?
You know, I'd say being this side of cars is very, I'm not very experienced, so
yeah,
a little bit intimidated coming into this, but really this is, I feel like I could go home right now and just bust out my cars and you know, I'm ready to go. Like it's
yeah.
I feel confident and it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad, you know? So I think the products and everything just made it really easy.
Exactly,
so.
Man, and that's what it's meant to be like. So that's why we have Wash Wednesday, so we can show people at home, people like you, how to keep your cars looking good and keep them looking clean, and ultimately protecting your investment, right?
Yep,
so your grandpa, when he sees this video, he can learn the same process, same routine, and apply it to the truck. And I think that he's really going to enjoy it. So, anyways, where can they find more information about Kenny's Rod Shop?
So we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. At KRS_Idaho for Instagram. Search Kenny's Rod Shop on YouTube and Facebook. You'll find all of our stuff. We're putting out tons of behind the scenes stuff, what goes into these projects, because it really, really is kind of unknown these days just how much work goes into the metal side of car building. So check us out. Let us know what you think. We'll probably be back here with another car here soon.
Hopefully, man.
Yeah,
hopefully.
definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show. As always, if you guys like this video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more and stay tuned for more Wash Wednesdays right here at The Rad Company.